Anna? Anna, is that you? Anna? Get out.
Welcome back to the Hiding for Horrors podcast, where we review horror movies and horror franchises. I'm Mark,
I'm Tawan.
and today we're reviewing The Collector, released in 2009, screenplay by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, and directed by Marcus Dunstan. Tuan, can you please give the people the plot summary?
Desperate for money to pay off a debt, a man targets a wealthy family's home and plans to break in and steal a valuable gem. He soon learns that he picked the wrong night to carry out his plans, for a masked madman has gotten there first, imprisoned the family, and lined the mansion with deadly traps.
I think I mentioned this a while ago when we talked about this movie. I forget what episode that was, but I actually watched the sequel to this movie, The Collection, before I ever knew that The Collector even existed. I think it was like probably like 2 years after I saw The Collection that I finally saw The Collector, and even rewatching it, because I watched this probably like a week ago, and I took some notes, but then when I was like literally 2 hours before we got on recording, I was like, damn, do I remember what happened in that movie? And I realized everything I was remembering was from the second movie. So I had to rewatch this movie, and while I will say it's good, something is just off. Like it feels like it's supposed to be a part of something, and I don't know. It's this movie just feels it feels like it has like, it's fighting its identity. Like it's supposed to be some one thing, but it's trying to be another thing. And while it's a good movie, it's just something's missing. But that's just me. What are your thoughts on this movie?
Well, I guess before I say that, I mean, we kind of talked about it before, though, that this it was intended to be a part of Saw.
I feel
So
that.
that could probably be where it's coming from, because I mean, the writers of this movie wrote like for three or four of the Saw movies from the original, like seven. So they intended for it to be, a little um, origin for Jigsaw, but rewrote it to be his own thing. So that could probably be where that's stemming from, because they went into it seeing it as like a Saw spinoff, which you could feel in this movie. Which is always funny though, because when I watched this when I was younger, I don't know why I always associated this
And I
movie
think
with
that's how
Saw.
he got started. Because it
Yeah,
feels like one. It feels. I mean, I remember when I watched when I watched the collection, from the parts I was seeing before I actually watched it, I thought it was a Saw movie. And then I was completely shocked and surprised when I realized, oh, it's not a Saw movie.
no, yeah, and I thought it was when I was younger. Like it has the same feeling of it, because like the editing and all that stuff, the kind of grungy look the movie has, like the Saw films have. Um, it gives that same type of vibe. But I like this movie though. It definitely has been a minute since I had seen it, but I very much remember it. I'm pretty sure this this is one of those movies that we got out the barbershop on bootleg. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I don't remember seeing this movie until I came across it. I believe I was just like channel surfing back in the day and came across it because actually I remember how I found it. I wanted to watch the collection, and I was online, and for the first time I saw the word sequel, and I was like, a sequel? What the fuck is this a sequel to? And I was like, oh, I might as well go back and watch this one.
Mhm.
So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think what it's like super simple premise, but I think one thing I liked about this movie a lot is that our main guy wasn't stupid. Like he was a very capable protagonist, anti-hero protagonist. I don't know what we call him, but the person, but Arkin, the guy that we're following in this movie, he's a really pretty, like, kind of smart dude, and the stuff that you probably be yelling at the screen for a character to do or try to do or be wary of, like he kind of locked in and it was like figuring it out even before we were, and I like that about this movie. Like,
Call him a protagonist.
yeah,
I mean, the way it started, yes, but it's also even established like, okay, he's doing this simply because he's broke. He needs the money for his family. So it's like, okay, yeah, he's doing something illegal, but they kind of gave you like a reason to like not completely turn on him. So that I appreciated, that I liked. It gave me a reason to still latch on. But then, like, if even if he was a bad guy, once he got into the house and all the fuckery was happening around him, he was trying to save people, so he was redeemed.
that is true. Um,
Low key though, I would have left them people. Sorry, I would have been gone. I don't know, y'all. For the rest of my life to save you people, I'm gone.
have you do you know about the deleted ending or scene?
No,
Obviously, they weren't. I feel like they just filmed this to fuck around. But the scene, and I guess we can maybe lead it into scenes. But the scene where he um left out and he turned around and saw the daughter. There was a deleted scene where he tosses up his middle fingers at her, says "fuck y'all" and leaves.
and I would have been okay with that. But you are right. Let's take this to the scenes. Well, I guess we can do scenes, we can do kills, we can also just throw in some of those crazy traps because the scene I want to talk about is the one with the floor. Like, was that acid? What the hell was happening with the floor? And then the cat, I was like, wait, is the cat also stuck and being melted
That was
away?
that was crazy.
I was so confused. I'm like, what is going on? And it was so much happening. And but also the whole sequence leading up to that. When she was screaming, at first I was like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Why are you screaming? Why are you screaming? And then it was like, oh, he's using the scream as a distraction. He was low key being smart the entire time. And when I thought he was being dumb, he was actually just being smart. And he would have gotten away if it wasn't for that couple. That kill with the boyfriend and the bear traps.
Was crazy. That was my favorite.
Wow. I When he started to fall back, I was like, oh baby, it's over. It's over. I
I think that was my first time seeing the kill like that.
Same. And I was not anticipating it at all. But the moment his foot, both first his foot, then his knee, I was like, oh, it's gonna pop his head off. And that's where the Saw vibes came in hard.
Mm-hmm.
The bear trap. It wasn't a
Yeah,
reverse, but it was a bear trap.
yeah, that was crazy. And then the older daughter got it.
Wow.
That honestly, the funniest part about this movie to me, which like is it's not that funny, is we were just at this house earlier in the day. We don't know what time the family left, but the collector had a lot of fucking time to set all this shit up.
Like the parents are gone, the sister's gone, the kids are gone. The oldest daughter's out with her boyfriend, doing up to no good. Like, yeah, they were there earlier. Like, how many hours were in between? Like, what time did the family leave versus
Him setting all this up.
like their family left? Then he said all that. That looked like that took days, weeks. Like, I'm
Like we got the nails. Then like but honestly, no, I don't know. Like, cause we see at the end that Arkin puts it together that he was the um exterminator. So I'm wondering, like, was he putting stuff in, like sneaking stuff while he was helping around the house? Like,
ah that
but
that's
I don't
smart.
know.
That's smart. And I was trying to fit, again, with me watching the second movie first, I always wondered like how the hell do you know what this man looks like? And I'm glad I was finally able to see how he know what he looks like and how he was able to cover. I don't want to spoil next week, but it all makes sense when I finally watched this movie. But were there any other scenes that stood out for you? Good, bad, or
Um, I, let me think, because well, okay, I know this. I know the two scenes in my mind, but I'm trying to think. Like, what have we watched any other movies that killed the animals?
no? I don't think so.
Not to my immediate knowledge, because in this
No.
movie they was like, "Fuck the cat and the dog getting shot."
I mean, Halloween, Michael Myers ate the dog. Uh, and then
Oh, you know what?
and
He
the Rob
did kill.
Zombie and the Rob
Yeah, I was
Zombie
gonna say the
remake.
Rob Zombie one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then Jason always murdered something or something other. Oh no, Jason didn't kill a dog. That's one person he didn't kill. So I think just Halloween, maybe.
yeah, but this when that fucking cat get left tried to leave out that window, I was like, "Oh shit."
I was flabbergasted. I was
I
like,
was like,
wait.
oh, we really. I was like, oh, we really don't like the collector. They really didn't want us to like him.
I was like, he didn't murder the cat. Like,
He murdered the cat and his own dog. That was wild. Honestly, any scene where Arkin was just being smart, like
that was.
him leading the little girl up the little chute to the bathroom.
Hmm.
Um, like he was smart. Like even though the collector anticipated it, he was smart enough to try to set a trap against him. That would have worked.
If the
Like what?
collector wasn't smart.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess why I like the kind of cat and mouse type of vibe that they were giving us, because like they were both like generally smart against one another. Um, so that was cool. I will say at the end, the one scene where we thought the collector got the little girl, I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad it was the police officer, because if it was actually the collector, I'd have been so mad.
I would have been mad if he ended up getting both of them. I'm so glad. Because I was seeing it, I'm like, no. And then it ended up being the cop, and I was like, okay, this is good. This is good. This is good. But I was like, there's still a decent amount of time left in this movie. Somebody finna get got if ain't that girl. And I just knew it. But that scene with him, uh, with that scene with him, the whole ambulance scene,
Yeah,
insane.
that was kind of giving me what was that what we were watching My Soul to Take.
Mhm.
Reminded me of that when I rewatched it. But yeah, I think that's all. Honestly, I feel like we just discussed a good chunk of the movie. It wasn't that long.
Now, I introduced this last week in last week's episode. I'm going to bring it here because I feel like it could work. If you had a hand at writing this script, would you have changed anything? And if so, what would it have been?
I probably would have.
Better
Let
question,
me.
actually. Better question. If you were behind this and you had the opportunity to still allow this to be a Saw movie, a John Kramer origin, would you have done it?
I don't think I would have done it because they would have found some way to fuck it up later on.
Yeah, and then it will also need to be explained, like, okay, where does Jill fit? Because I feel like we understood Jill accepting this because, how she lost the baby and John was sick. So it would have been difficult. Okay, where does Jen, like, what, like, Jill had a bigger story than plan than we needed. I want to know what their original idea was when they were thinking of this being a John Kramer origin, because I feel like they had to have something written down. They had something they were going to work towards. I wish we knew what that was. I'd be so interested in that.
Yeah, because I, I would be interested to know what their idea would have been, but I feel as though Kramer's story that we get in the like original couple of Saw movies, um, it all fits within the context of that story
Hmm.
of what we get there, and I think that's where that is where not Spiral. What was that other one? Uh
Jigsaw.
yes, that's where Jigsaw was doing too much. Where they were like, "Oh, he had another accomplice before
He
the rest of them
was
that
very
we never
first.
seen that we
It's
never
very
seen before," and it makes
insane.
no sense to us now because why do we have another accomplice after all these years? And like it made it made no sense. So I'm kind of glad they didn't go with that. At least in the context of this actual movie, though, would I change up anything to what we currently got? I really don't think so. I feel like for what this movie is, what we're given for the most part generally works here. And I think, there's enough, like, kind of kills and stuff to go around. um at least our main character, the person that we're following, is making like pretty smart decisions along the way. Now I'm sure if this was like an actual scenario, he probably would have actually left. But either way, he still does have a daughter, so he has that soft spot for the little girl. He was even playing like fucking um teapot with her earlier in the day when he was over the house. So like he was already like they seeing like his daughter in the little girl, so he wanted to save her as well. One decision that should have been made earlier when that fucking cop saw them bodies, he should have immediately rang it in instead of trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. Like,
Yeah, like that is. I don't know. I'm not a cop. I know some, but I've never taken the test. But I'm pretty sure there's somewhere written in the handbook, because when you see some shit like that, you immediately call it in for backup, and you do not go forward alone until backup arrives. Are you dumb? You see bodies sprawled out, and you just was like, "Let me go look." You take a little looky look. Are you dumb?
exactly.
Mm-mm. Like you can call me a scary cop, but me and my recording vest gonna see them bodies and take our asses the other way. And I'm sorry, Sergeant, you're gonna have to review the footage and see what I saw and know why the fuck I ran away. Because ain't no way you pull up and see multiple bodies, and if you see multiple bodies, you should automatically think there might be multiple assailants. The fuck?
yeah, yeah, that was crazy, and I don't think I would change anything else about like the collector or anything. I think that's where I kind of get an issue with the second one, which we'll get to. But I like the
Mm,
mystique. I like the mystique of the collector.
I I feel like I don't know. I want to say I would. Okay, I want to change something, but I don't know if it would change the entire movie. It would change the entire movie because the whole reason he broke into the house was because of the safe. I would change the setting. in some way somehow. Like if we could put that, actually, we can keep the same setup, but have it be like in a mansion, like a rich, fancy mansion that's bigger and more sprawled out. That would also explain how he would have more time to. Because if you're just setting up shit in one particular side of this mansion that they might not rarely go to, it would no. Because for me, the setting just felt like claustrophobic, and it was dark. I just feel like it needs to just be a little bit more open. But that's just
Feel like
me.
that kind of, but I think for me, I kind of like that aspect of it because it makes it feel very uneasy.
It does. And we kind of do get an open setting in the second one, and it kind of well no,
Mm.
it kind of works against it. So yeah, I see. I see. But okay, well, let's move on to the character list. Let's start with the family, the whole family, the unfortunate family. First of all, see this is what whenever I watch movies, especially after I watch Panic Room, like you can't trust anybody. You can't trust the garbage man, the electrician, the plumber. You can't trust the goddamn delivery food driver. Because like why do they know you have a gym? This priceless gym in your house.
Can I just say, Panic Room was a good ass movie.
It was. It was. I love that movie.
That was a good ass movie. I just thought about it like, damn, I ain't seen that in a minute.
Me either, actually. I have to rewatch that scene. I love that movie.
That's a good
One of
ass
my
movie, but
one
you're
of my
right.
favorite Kristen Stewart movies. But like also like I also want to if I don't know if I missed it, but was it explained why he chose them? Because as an exterminator, I'm pretty sure he goes to a bunch of houses. And he can't be killing off all his clients because at some point they're gonna connect the dots back to his ass. So like, how does he like? I just want to know how he came to choose them.
Yeah, nothing. Literally, not only thing we got about the collector, which we'll discuss him a little more, but the only thing we got about him was he doesn't collect items; he collects people, and the ones that he don't collect, he kills them.
You know what? Going back to the what would I change? I wouldn't change anything about this movie. What I would do is take another movie and add it to this franchise. You know what movie that is? The movie will be perfect, fit. It'd be a good trilogy and open the world up, but not overly explain the collector.
But
You have no guess of what movie that could be. It's one that we reviewed, actually.
one that we reviewed.
You, Me, and Maria. It's an oldie.
Ooh.
ATM. I would I I would rework that movie and fit it in here. Because at the end, one of them did survive. And I would have just had that like he be collected. He was toying with them. The people died, and you just take that blind guy you left alive at the end. I just feel like it could have fit, and you still got the mysterious mystique, collector. In each movie, we could have just been seeing him kill people in different elaborate ways. The ATM was basically a trap, so it would have fit. But going back to the characters, the family, I don't know.
Mm,
I just really wanted to know why they were selected. That's the main thing.
yeah, we'll never
And
we'll
they,
never know.
the
Well,
daughters
I guess it
fought
was just because they
so
moved
hard.
into the house.
Oh, true.
Because we saw at the beginning, he took the guy, assuming, well, I'm just gonna assume he killed his wife at the beginning when he found the box, and I guess whenever the family got back home, they found the box waiting for them, and it was their turn.
Mm, yeah. But the daughters fought hard though. Like those girls, and it sucks that only one of them survived, but they fought hard.
She wasn't fighting that hard.
No, she wasn't. But wait, which one do you think he was trying to keep?
Well, I don't know if we that now that's one thing because when we by the time the older daughter gets killed and the boyfriend, I think the mom and the dad are still alive. So maybe I wonder if he was maybe trying to keep the little girl because the parents he could have already kept the parents or one of
Mm-hmm.
them,
And
and
he
but
probably didn't. He probably didn't even know when the older daughter was coming back home.
yeah, and since the little girl was hiding out all the time, which we still don't know where the fuck she was hiding, she deserved hiding. She champion had it from his ass that whole time, and not coming out. Good on you, but
Smart.
I wonder if he maybe was trying to get her, but he didn't know where the fuck she was.
And maybe I would have stayed in there. I don't care who I saw, what was going on. I would have stayed in there until the morning time and then found my way the fuck out.
Especially yeah, and especially since the collector did kill the mom and the dad eventually. Because I mean, he fucking he damn near then disemboweled the dad at that
Mm-hmm.
point and stabbed at the mama. So I guess his intentions were to maybe capture the youngest daughter.
Well, let's move on to Arkin, our protagonist, I would say. Um, like we said, I have no faults, no problems with him. He was being smart, he was paying attention, he was being active, he was reactive. He he did his big one. Applause.
No, I agree. He was pretty smart throughout like all the movie. Um, also I like this actor. He's been in some decent stuff before too. So I thought he was
I I love
pretty good.
him from Criminal Minds. That's where I know him from.
Yeah, he was good. He was good here. I believe that the way they did his character was good because this movie would have been so much more annoying with like a dopey annoying protagonist,
Hmm.
and I think it just worked for us that he was once he understood the situation he was in, he kind of locked in and was like, all right, like I'm getting out of here one way or another. And I fucked with that. The way the way they kind of went about it, and I like that. Even though he not even though he had the opportunity, he was already running away, and then went back to go help the little girl. Would I have done the same? I'm sorry, I can't say that I would have.
I don't think I would have either.
I really can't say that I would have done the same there, cause
And it just sucked that like all he wanted at the end was just to talk to his wife and then he got kidnapped. He fought so hard too, just to be like kidnapped at the end.
he was good though. Like I don't have, I really don't have much else to say on him. Which usually in other contexts, I feel like I would put that as a downside. But I feel like this character's motives were so like upfront that I don't really need much more to like facilitate anything else to the story. Kind of like we know he trying to get the money for his girl. He has a daughter. He needs to steal the gem and get out the house. That's kind of all I need to know about him. Once the shit starts going down, we get a little more of like personality from him. Like
Hmm.
he's empathetic. Like he's probably done a lot of these like kind of like heist, not heist, but like a robbery type job. So he knows how to like kind of weasel in and out of places and think quickly when shit starts changing. So I feel like we get enough of him to where I'm not like in other movies. I would probably see it as a downside that there's not much that I know about him, but I think I know just enough to work within the context of this movie.
You know what you need to know in a good way.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I feel like if they would have gave us too much, and again, this movie is claustrophobic. It's closed in. It's in a tight space. So if they would have spent too much time with overly developing his character, something else would have got lost. Because this is a tight movie. It's not that long. They're in one setting. So like you got to give us what we need to know in a quick succession. I think they did it perfectly.
Hmm.
But let's move on to the collector. Now, he was kicking ass. He he got some good aim because he was throwing them damn knives
Bro,
like he was Hawkeye. Like he was just and so agile and like loose and fit. Which when we get to the sequel, I will start to question, but I don't want to spoil it. But like he like that most definitely could not have been John Kramer. But what are your thoughts on him?
no, you damn right about them fucking knives because he was hitting them bitches the whole movie. Um, kind of the same with Arkin. Like, I don't think there was more that should have been given to the collector's character. Um, which, like I said earlier, is once we get to the second one, I kind of have an issue with it. But within here, I think what we get is enough to work with, especially in a context of like what's going on in this movie.
Mhm.
Um, like we just know this, like our guy, he's a little bad. He's stealing. He's being a thief. But this guy, he's the worst.
He's stealing people. Arkin can steal
Yes,
in some items. This man's stealing people. There's a
yes, like
difference.
yeah, like this guy's the worst. Like fuck this guy. Um, and he like just one of those characters like no, just nothing but the worst of them. Like there's no empathy or anything. Like there's no nothing. Like he's killing anybody else and he's collecting whatever the fuck he wants to collect. Like, and he doesn't care who's in the way. If it's the cat, if it's his own dog that he shot with the damn shotgun, like he was not giving a
Insanity.
fuck.
And I,
Um,
I feel like he could have been the next big horror, like villain icon. I feel like he's like from based off this first movie, he had legs to like have more movies in the franchise.
yeah, it was definitely they definitely. I remember reading on this one like a little while ago because there was supposed to be a third one. It just not I'll tell. Well, we'll probably get to that. Like once we get to the second one and we get in
Mm-hmm.
our and get in our bag there. But yeah, they kind of wanted it to be that, but it just never came to fruition, unfortunately.
I mean, they can still make a third one. We don't have to continue with the story that started here. Like it can literally, like I said with the ATM thing, you can literally just take him and just put him just kidnapping folks and just I don't know, but because it's an interesting character, a great character that we get in this movie. The sequel, my opinion
Hmm.
changes a little bit, but we will save that for next week. But from here, he is mysterious. He is very athletic, very flexible, good fighter. Because he whooped that dude's ass before he threw him into the fucking bear trap. Like
Hmm.
I, the collector. I would have lost. I'm sorry. You saw all of that and then you went to you went back to go save that girl. I'm sorry. Anything
Yeah,
else?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't have survived the collector.
I'll take my chances with Billy and the goat and the pig mask shit. Well, Tawan, can you give the people the behind the scenes info and facts?
So the budget for the collector was $3 million, and it made a box office return of $10.5 million. Some interesting facts, as we kind of mentioned a little earlier in the episode, The Collector was intended to be a prequel of sorts to the Saw franchise, being a prequel to John Kramer, more of his backstory. But as we kind of let you guys know already, the story was declined to be a prequel to Saw and was reworked into what we have now as The Collector. And personally, I think it's a little better that way for reasons me and Mark gave earlier. So Dimension Films originally financed the film, but dropped it due to financial issues, with Liddell Entertainment eventually distributing it for a brief successful theatrical run in 2009. And the killer's design and trap setting methods are directly influenced by the predatory nature of spiders. Some critics' reactions. The film currently sits at a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. Bloody Disgusting gave the film a 3.5 out of 5 and wrote that The Collector is a raw, gritty, and uncompromising horror film that puts the previous Saw films to shame. Lastly, Clay Kane of BET noted, "You will squirm, but aren't we getting a bit desensitized to these routine torture flicks? It's like seeing a pop songstress get naked for the billionth time. Yeah, she's hot, but we've all seen it before." That is funny. Yeah, I guess there's one thing to note too. Like, this movie came out in 2009, and it kind of was coming out when the general audience were getting tired of like that whole Saw torture porn type of vibe, and was getting into their found footage, paranormal activity, possessive film like type bag, because this came out of 2009. Paranormal Activity, the first one, was 2008, I believe, or 2007. So these movies kind of always were kind of getting phased out a bit.
Yeah. Well, enough about them. What about us, Tawan? Do we cash or pass The Collector?
I will give The Collector a cash. This is kind of one of those movies that I don't think about that often, but I was kind of glad that we did watch it when we brought up what we were going to be doing. I think it's a good, like, quick watch. It's not that long. There's not, like, where I'm looking for. There is not anything there's not much to follow along with here, which is like a simple A to B type plot. Like, we know what's going on.
It's straightforward.
You get a couple good kills throughout it. It kind of has that cat and mouse element. We have a protagonist that is not like stupid, and I think everything kind of comes along pretty well here for what we got.
Nice. Well, for me, I will also give this a cash. Again, I watched the sequel before I watched this one, so coming to this, I was really surprised about how. And this movie is good. Like, you're very claustrophobic, you're very closed in. It's very just like moving. And I love that we didn't have like a cut and dry protagonist. Like, he was in that house to rob those people. And then because of the events that was happening when he got in there, he was then trying to save those people. And he ended up saving at least one of them and then still got caught in the process. Like, I like movies like that where you have this flawed character who you don't want to root for, but then you're kind of forced to root for. Like, I enjoyed it. And The Collector was creepy and scary, and those traps were insane. And R.I.P. the kitty, R.I.P. the dog. Like, oh my god. But this was a good movie, and I cashed it. And I cannot wait to watch its sequel. But that's for next week. Until then, good night.
If you like this episode, please be sure to check out some from the Haddonfield Horror Cemetery, where we've covered big franchises such as Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Saw, or one-off reviews like The Blackening or Hereditary.
You can follow Haddonfield Horrors on Instagram and TikTok, where the host posts updates and mini reviews. Full episodes are available on several podcasting platforms, including Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is produced by Mark Smart, Tawan Griffin, and Elian Cordova, themed by Lethal Injection, and edited by Mark Smart.
The Haddonfield Horror Podcast is a Letter to Media production.
Should we do an intro?